And we are live. Hello, world. Welcome to Grimshaws Tavern. It's a series of the Pernicious Chronicles where we talk about the world, lore, and world building and all that kind of fun stuff. And joining me tonight, I have Ella, who plays Glinda. I almost got that backwards. On the Antecedents campaign.
Yes.
So how you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good.
I know, you gotta be quiet.
Yeah. I had my first day of college today. So
That's fun stuff.
Mhm.
At least you made it through the first day.
Oh yes.
That's always the good thing.
Mhm.
All right, so tonight on echoey. Who is echoey? Give me 1 second. Let me find out why. Doo-doo-doo. Hold on, I might have a plan for that. Let's see, not that.
That's weird.
Yes. What if that works? All right, is it still echoey? Maybe, maybe not. Both of you, it's not just one mic. That's strange. It's very strange. Seems like everything's okay, so it's a bit, but it's a lot better. I think it might have been I had a little bit of background noise going on, so that could have been it.
Right.
Okay, so tonight I wanted to discuss a couple of different things about NPCs and how I go about creating NPCs, and then a neat little tool that I discovered today while I was looking up generators. So I was going to do something. Hold on. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Because you have played in both campaigns.
Yes.
So far, what do you think about the NPCs that I have created? Just out of curiosity.
They're pretty cool. There's not many that are repeated. You try to do different types each time. And even if you have to repeat a characteristic of an NPC, you might change a voice or something like that.
Gotcha. And okay, so as a DM, that's one of the things that I try to do is because I only know so many voices. I only have so many voices, and I try to leave certain voices for certain NPCs. Like, unfortunately, I realized the other night that during the Antecedents campaign, the half orc that I did that you guys came across that was the chef sounded a lot like Grimshaw, and and sometimes it's like when you have to create an NPC. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the echo has just been determined to be on the other side, not our side. So all is well.
Yay!
But okay, so going back to the NPCs, whenever I try to create NPCs on the fly, it's hard to I don't know. Sometimes I have my go-to voices, and then you think back on it, it's like, oh, I could have used this voice instead. But creating them on the fly is a little bit more difficult. So one of the things that I found today while I was playing around online, there's a bunch of generators out there for NPCs. I don't know if you've ever actually looked at them.
No, I have very little experience in the world of D&D and online versions of it and stuff like that.
So one in some of the I don't know how many the people will actually watch this will actually recognize this, but when I think it was 3.5 came out, or maybe 3.0, and then onto 3.5, and the internet was a relatively new thing, they used to have these netbooks, netbooks of magical items and towns and all that stuff. But one of the netbooks that I actually found was one of names. So I printed it out, and I've had it for probably about, oh man, 2000. Let's just say 2002. So I've had this thing for a while. It's been in a folder. So occasionally when I need a name, I'll pluck it out of there. But this generator that I found today, it's actually npcgenerator.azurewebsites.net, and it's a simple generator, but it gives you like a name, year, like how old they are, all the general things. But then it goes into like what they look like. For instance, the one that pulled up right now, it says she has short black mohawk with brown eyes, smooth pink skin, stands about 144 centimeters tall, which I think is 5'4", give or take, maybe.
Maybe, probably.
And has a regular build. And then it goes on, it says they have the edgy, extremely innocent face and a large scar on her back. I don't know how you would see that. And she has an extra finger on her left hand. And that's just in the description.
I'm looking for a 6-fingered man. Have you seen him?
What is his name? No, I'm checking. Wait, was it 6 fingers?
Yeah.
It was 6 fingers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
My name is Tony. Okay, anyway. I'm not
My name is Amigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
So, but it goes on further. It goes on to personality traits. And I think it's set to, I think these are Forgotten Realms deities. So it says like if they discreetly worship, if they are loud about their worship to a certain deity. And then it goes on about other personality traits. Prioritize. She's very talkative. Inherited a castle and has a pet pigeon named Bear. So it's a quick little generator that you can use on the fly, or you can do what I did, and I'll show you in just a second. But it gives you a breakdown of ability scores if you need those, alignment tendencies. But one of the things I actually thought was most interesting was it goes on to tell you about the relationships. So it gives you their sexual orientation and their relationship status. So like she's single and straight. And that's something that none of the other generators have. So I thought it was kind of interesting, and it's like if that ever came into play, because if you have Zach running around in your campaign, he seems to get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I can tell.
And then it goes down at the very bottom. It says plot hook. It says she is spying. She's spying the players on behalf of the local clergy. So it gives these little things, and it gives you a lot of stuff you can use. But if you do like what I did, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I printed it out on a Word document. And I have like 3 per page. So my idea for this was that if I have 3 per page, it gives me a quick NPC that I can use. And also, since it's on paper, I can take quick notes. So if you guys come into a town that I never thought you guys would come into, I have right now 26 NPCs I can throw at you. And all I have to do is, if you go into a shop, is, find one of them, random one, describe what they look like, and I can attach a voice to it, and then I can jot notes down, like the players try to cross them. Is there a bad taste in their mouth? Did they do something good for them, type thing. So then I can always come back to it, and I know that that's one of the biggest things for DMs is they say take notes on stickies and all this other kind of stuff, but I try to be organized. And I'm hoping this will help me be organized, and we'll see how it plays out. But it's a lot different when you're doing it, when you're playing over Roll20 and you're streaming and you're doing all that stuff, than it is being at a physical table.
Right. This is the first time I've ever done something online. I've done like 2 different role playing scenarios, but they were all in person. And I guess I kind of am partial to that for like how it feels being like in the room with people and having like I prefer physical die to the number generator.
Gotcha. And a lot of people, going back to the whole Roll20 thing, a lot of people think that it's not random, that like there's fixed sets of numbers and all that stuff. I don't know. If you're gonna play on virtual tabletop, you have to settle with what you have. A lot of people, they'll roll, but if you're not doing like the stuff that we're doing, you have to take their word for it. And it's not that I don't trust my players, but when it's really important roll, you want to see the dice. That's like the whole point of it. Like that's the drama.
Well, yeah, if like everyone had like a camera that's a detached camera that they can mount above a table that they're playing at and roll the dice, then that's different. But that's kind of hard when you're trying to stream someone's face as well as an extra screen of their table.
Yeah.
When usually it's blank unless for like certain times.
Yeah, I mean, and unless somebody has like 2 cameras and all that stuff. So that's another thing.
Yeah, most people don't have 2 cameras.
I mean, I don't
usually use this guy, right, in their laptop.
It's either attached to your laptop. Some of them use phones. I mean, I have just a standalone camera, but all right. Sorry, I asked the chat.
Oh yeah, I got it pulled up, so I'm watching it too.
It says I quite like the Dragonborn who handed over the rod of dragon control and basically went, "It's your problem now." There was a lot more background into her, and I guess this is one of the things too that we can talk about with NPCs. Each one of the main NPCs has a story, and the thing is like, as a player, you have to ask the right questions. For like her, nobody ever asked her name, but her name is Talissa, and she has a last name, and it's Bol. No, I'm joking. It's actually, I have to look it up because she's Dragonborn and they have crazy last names.
Yes, they do.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the other players that named her, gave her a last name. So.
That's there's one type of role playing game called Apocalypse World, and it has a system where you roll. I forget the word for it, but you roll your dice, and then depending on what number you get will depend on if you answer 0, 1, or 3 questions in a certain list. So it kind of guides you in the type of questions you should ask in situations.
Gotcha. Well, I guess the basic, I don't know, I feel like that would be a basic question that you would ask. Like, you would get the information, like, why are you here? Because there was this whole story as to why she was there.
And nobody even cared to ask.
Well, but they were, and I guess that's the difference between the Antecedents campaign and the Destiny campaign, is like the Destiny campaign is more serious, get to the point, let's get what we gotta get and get out of here. Whereas the Antecedents campaign is, hey, let's go have a dance off,
Yeah, we stopped at 3 separate blacksmiths on the way to the final destination because we were looking for a specific rapier. Like,
or just one in general, actually.
right, but fancy. Fancy rapier. It had to be fancy.
But going back to what Shouting the Wind said about the Dragonborn, is her story. The Destiny campaign has noped out of so much combat. That is correct. That is true. If you go back all the way to the second episode, they like skirted through, like went straight through the forest. They wanted to bypass the cave, but going back to that whole nope thing, it's the world that I built. I originally designed it to be this gritty, no, like very limited healing, which is why they died so much in the beginning, and because I wanted to set that tone. So I guess part of that is my fault too with the NPCs, but so many different things could have happened with that.
Right.
But I'm trying to build up a couple of things. And if anybody watches the Antecedents campaign and then the Destiny campaign, you'll start to see a pattern. And essentially, it's the NPCs. Some of them lap over to the Destiny campaign, and there's a reason for that. And that's going to be the reason for season 2 of the Antecedents campaign. But with
you get to play more.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Some people might get fired. I might have to renegotiate contracts. I might have to get a whole new cast. I don't know. Somebody gets voted off the island.
Aaron.
I didn't say that. So Talissa, being Silver Dragonborn, there was this whole legend built up behind her in this temple and all that stuff. Now, there was a real dragon in that temple. But if you paid attention to the very first trap, that set the premise for why they thought there was a dragon in there. So they never ventured past the door. So they always thought it was a dragon just, in there taking all the meat and not coming out to kill them. But in reality, they were the ones feeding her, which is why she was there. But she was also there to protect the rod. And I'm debating now if I want to discuss why she was there, or if I just let it go. Screw it. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right. So let's do it. Okay.
Hey, I love metagaming. It's my favorite thing to do.
But it's not like my players watch this or anything. They're not going to. I would be surprised if they did. Which is pretty funny, actually. So, Talissa. Here's a very good question for you, Ella.
Okay.
Did you watch the last episode of the Destiny campaign?
No, I did not. I did not.
Okay, so one of the things about Talissa is when they told her that Michael had died, it's like basically all hope had been like washed away from her, and she like slumped and dropped her war pick, and basically at that point walked out. She did ask where, if they buried him, where. I listen, but I don't pay attention. Thanks, Ken, or Rex, or Kevin, or.
Oh, okay. That's who that is. Okay, gotcha.
Yep, that's who that is.
Okay, I have to figure out all these different names because it's different usernames.
Shouting in the Wind. I think I know Shouting in the Wind. Well, not know him, but I think he's from the UK. I think. Okay, so.
Question mark?
Yes. Question mark. I've been stalking you? Oh man. It's funny how I figured all of that out. But anyway, maybe I'll tell him like later. I don't want to put it all out there.
For the whole world to know.
So anyway, Talissa, she, um, if you're paying attention to what's going on, um,
Mhm.
you've seen Michael Versick, you've seen Grimshaw, you've seen Koa. Um,
I have I met? I don't think I've met Grimshaw.
okay, so the antecedents have not met Grimshaw yet. Technically, you haven't met Koa yet. Um,
Right.
Only one of you has met Koa, but his name has been mentioned several times. So you haven't met Talissa, but the Destiny campaign has met Grimshaw, Koa. They found Michael Versick, and then now they've met
Mm,
Talissa. And
okay.
if you've put the pieces of the puzzle together, and Michael even says that he goes after and steals the Rod of Dragon Control.
Hmm.
Um, that's that's the premise for season 2 of the Antecedents campaign.
Is Michael still in the rod?
Yes. So
Okay.
basically, oh, sorry, I was reading this. So basically, season 2 is going to take the place of you guys taking control of those NPCs. You're going to take control of Michael, Grimshaw, Talissa, Koa. Um, who else? There's two more. I had them. You guys already met one, and there's one I have yet to actually plug in yet.
I would love to be. You just said her name, and I suck at names.
Talissa.
Yeah, Talissa.
Um,
That's just my preference.
Talissa's already taken.
Oh, okay.
However, if I have to dig through my notes, um, and see who the other one is, but there's one for you.
Ooh.
Don't you worry.
Okay.
So that's the premise for season 2, and
Okay.
basically I'm taking all of these NPCs and they're rolling like the main ones are rolling over from one campaign to the other, and then they're gonna kind of meet in the middle, and then you guys are gonna play those out.
Mm.
There's a lot of I can't say metagaming on your half. Um,
Okay.
it's just one of those things where it's he wants to be John. No Ken. There's no John. There's Hyun. Oh man. Um, I'm missing one. I'm
And
actually
it's gonna
missing. I'm missing
it's
two.
gonna drive you insane until you figure it out.
Yeah, what happened is I'll figure it out and then I'll like message you later and be like, oh yeah, it was this one.
Okay.
So anyway, about the NPCs, I have my
Hmm.
main set of NPCs, but when it comes to like the NPCs that you guys meet when you go into a town, that's what I'm
Hmm.
gonna start doing as far as generating them.
Okay.
So like I said, I have 26 sitting over here right now that I can pluck out and put into any towns, any kind of locations or whatever in both campaigns. Now, with that being said, there's still going to be times where you guys are going to come across something and I got to figure it out on the fly. So
Of
let's hope I can
course,
do that.
because that's what we do.
Of course it
That's
is. So I know I'm trying to think. This is gonna drive me crazy. I cannot think of this other damn NPC. Why did you do this to me? You
It's
know what?
what I do. It's
You
what
know
I
what?
do.
Hold on. I know how I'm gonna find it.
I knew you were gonna go find it.
Yep,
I just knew it.
of course. All right. So Talissa.
Magic.
Okay. Nope. I got one for you.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. Nobody's met her yet.
of course. Of course.
So I have what? What did I miss?
Ken,
What did he say?
it's John.
It's John.
It's John.
It's John. No, actually, her name. I can tell you what her name is, because I got to figure out how I'm gonna put her in.
Okay.
Because at the moment, I don't think the antecedents are gonna come across her, but it's possible that it's possible the Destiny campaign might. But her name is Del Juwani.
What?
Del Juwani.
Del Juwani.
She is an Earth genocide warlock.
Okay. It's interesting. Not what I'm used to, but okay.
So yeah, and then I have to make one more NPC. That was the one I was thinking of for you.
Oh, was the one you haven't come up with, or?
No, the Earth genocide.
Okay, gotcha.
Or if Aaron was here, it would be Ganazi. Let's ask the world. Hello, world. What do you think? This is going to be like a topic every single game.
Yep.
All right. So, NPCs. You guys, antecedents, have come across, and here's a question for you, actually.
Okay.
Major NPCs that you've come across. You've come across the Baron. You've come across Versik, and the King.
Oh yeah.
Now, whenever I give you information from an NPC, do you get all the information that you want in regards to, like, for instance, the King? He's giving you the information about what's down there and why he wants to be there. But is there anything lacking in that content? And Ken could join in on this conversation too, because he's listening.
Right. Not really. Like, I don't really pay attention to NPCs, like, even like the important ones.
You're killing me. Killing me. Do you even remember his name?
No.
Can you get like non-inspiration for this?
Well, like, I suck at names. I'm horrible at names in real life. Like, names do not, like, they don't stick.
Actually, I have to go back and look at my notes.
Oh yeah, and like, I'm not one for but I don't I don't take notes about anything that we do. Unlike Tim, who keeps thorough notes.
Speaking of Tim, he was supposed to be here.
Yes, and he ditched.
It is Jarl, not Carl. I like how he said Carl Khan. Oh man.
King Kong?
Where is his name? Here. Okay, so Bosk was the greeter. Oh, Kalmuth, Greatstone. That was his name.
Okay. Well, yeah, like, I suck at notes. Like, I suck at taking them, and then usually I never look back on them. So that's kind of my deal with NPCs. Like, I might remember, like, when you give me a picture, like with Michael, that sticks with me. But if I don't have a picture, it's really hard for me to, like, keep the person there. Like, it's an actual person in the game.
Aaron's in chat.
Yes.
Oh man.
Purple Berry Crunch. Really?
Oh, actually, speaking of NPCs, did you realize that one of them was named Purple?
It's funny.
No, it was. It really was. It was a halfling. And he was. Let's see, where do I have it? He owned the Dirty Wolf.
Oh, that guy.
Yep. That was in Ebon Wolf Keep. So, okay.
Yeah.
can't really go into much detail.
Draw them when you get a subscription.
Wait, what did he say?
He says draw an NPC when you get a subscription.
I don't follow.
Draw an NPC.
Description. Hey man, you said subscription. You really did say subscription. I'm so sorry. I can't help it.
Oh, we meant description.
Are you drunk?
Oh, gotcha.
It's like 5 o'clock there. You're drunk already. That's
hey,
horrible.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Already hard.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Ding, 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 ding.
All right.
Ding, 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 ding.
So.
Wrong song.
No,
I went to the wrong song.
You're good. So when it comes to the descriptions for the NPCs, do you want more description, or is it good the way it is?
It's good where it is. It's just I have to train myself to remember them.
And I'm thinking here for the players and for the people watching, and then later on listening to all of this. The reason is because I have a tendency to rush into things, especially like if I'm using the graphics on Roll20. So I throw you guys in a room. I have a tendency sometimes to just say, okay, you come into this room. Over here, there's a table. There's this. But I never describe the size of the room, the texture of the stone, or like the height of the room. So if any of that ever comes up, just let me know. Basically it's me getting excited and kind of rushing through it.
Okay. It's just one single overwhelming characteristic. Oh no, that doesn't help, Aaron. That doesn't help at all.
Well, maybe if they have one single overwhelming characteristic, and that could be something that sets them apart.
Maybe, but like the main, like I'm a visual, so if I have a picture, it's there. So it's like imagining a picture is harder for me.
And I get that, and I understand that. For like you said, using Michael Versick as an example, with him being a major NPC, then I would have a picture of him.
Right. Having I still remember the picture.
It's on the website too.
Right.
It's actually up on the stream right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I have us okay, there he is. Oh, there's Coslane. He's so cute. So cute.
Shouting the Wind says, you need to be careful with descriptions. We are doing Curse of Strahd at the moment and entered a stone cobbled courtyard with degenerated into what stone the cobbles were made of, what size they were, and could we fashion an improvised forge out of them. Interesting.
Lovely.
So that would be, I'm assuming what he's saying is like they basically
too much information.
Well, taking all the stones, and I don't know why you would stop in a courtyard if you're in the middle of I don't know if he's in the middle of a dungeon or something, but I don't know. I guess that's. I see a lot of posts because I'm on a bunch of groups on Facebook and stuff, and you see a lot of posts where the DMs are having problems with players and them doing stuff that is completely like not out of context, but like off the beaten path. And they want to know
side quest upon side quest.
Well, and we know what happened to the Destiny campaign when they went on a side quest.
Yes. They somehow got back on the main campaign.
Oh no, they did something far worse than just get back on the main campaign.
Oh, did they all die?
Oh no, they altered the world forever.
Oh, lovely.
You gotta go back and listen to it. It's episode.
I almost don't have any time now. because I'm in college.
Episode 3.
Thanks, Aaron, for thinking I'm in high school.
Episode 3, Destiny campaign. Anyway, so I guess when it comes to stuff like that, it's kind of like traveling, like you guys did traveling the last game. Description allowed for 20 minutes of discussion on something best.
Gentle.
So I get what he's saying with the descriptions and everything, because I can see how that would happen, and I could see some of the players like, ooh, I just got an idea from that description. So yeah, that makes sense. But I was thinking more of there. Okay, so here's another thing. One of the things that I like to do as a DM is I like to give out details. But I like to do, like, if there's something that I want you guys to pick up on, I'm gonna be very subtle with it.
Okay.
And I've done that several times to the Destiny campaign. I haven't done it to the antecedents yet. You'll get yours soon.
Okay.
But it's I guess one of the things is you don't want to give them too much details of what they think about that stuff, but you don't want to give them like hardly any detail, because when you do put a detail out there that it's part of a puzzle or it's part of a trap or it's something along those lines, they pick up on it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of, to me, it takes like, I don't know, it goes back to what you were saying about paying attention.
Right. But I love it how Aaron will like just start talking to someone and not let you describe the character.
You're withholding on purpose? I always withhold information.
That's what he does.
Yes,
like,
it's your character's job to figure it out.
be the investigator. Be the Sherlock Holmes that's inside your soul.
No, but that, once again, though, that goes back to, like you were saying, your investigator. Like if you're looking for something, you're gonna roll for it, and you may pick up a detail, you may not pick up a detail. But if I describe something, and it's like, I guess I can use the murals from the last Destiny episode. There was the murals of 10 different colored dragons, and I described each one of them, and then I described the obsidian one, and I actually had one of them roll an investigation check. I think it was Mina. Realized that it was missing a piece, and since the very first episode, one of the characters have had an obsidian shard, and their obsidian shard is what fit into this mural, and it unlocked a door. So it goes all the way back. So the little things that you might find later on are worth at least remembering.
Or at least put them in your character sheet so you never forget.
Well, exactly. But this particular one just happened to be from a character that the player quit, so the party found his body. And then they searched his body, and then they found that obsidian shard. So it's a good thing they found it. Otherwise, I'd have to change the key. But it's those kind of things too that I like doing.
Okay.
Because you might find something that you won't even think about for the next 6 episodes, and then later on down the line, that's when you're gonna have it. And to answer Shouting the Wind's question, he said, did they realize what it was? Yes, they did, actually, because it just so happened that the person that was holding this had literally just went through every item in his backpack, and when I said obsidian, that like dinged a light bulb in his head. So,
Light bulb.
Otherwise, if it would have been on somebody else's character sheet, it probably would have taken a while. But there's a lot of things like that that I like using, from especially from like the player's background, that it eventually will come back and make its way into the story, and it makes them feel part of it, but it also makes them kind of stay on their toes, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with like, I'm trying to think what puzzle it was. I think it was Randy that did the puzzle, and Aaron. Um, they had like 2 episodes before they had found basically the cipher for a puzzle, and then they had to go back and then they had to take it and they literally translated what it said. Like they did it for like 20-30 minutes, I think. No, they did. They literally sat there on stream and like wrote all of this out, and I was actually impressed with that.
But that kind of takes away from the stream, though.
But at the same time, I agree, but we were doing other stuff at the same, like when they were doing all of that. They were going through
Okay.
treasure and we were talking about stuff. So it was still game related. They decided that's what they wanted to do.
Okay.
But as I guess as a DM, I like those kind of moments because it's something different. You know, it's not something that is decided by a dice roll.
Right.
So it makes you think a little bit more. And I know that kind of goes back from separating player knowledge to character knowledge and all that stuff. But as long as I don't know, me personally, as long as you moderate it, then it adds to it like another level of fun to it.
Okay.
At least in my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. Everybody's different.
Right.
They said they enjoyed it. I don't know. They could have been lying to my face. It's very true. All right. So, what other kind of questions do you guys have about NPCs? I'm also asking you, Ella.
Um.
NPCs are fun,
They are fun.
especially when they turn from NPCs to player characters.
Right. That's like ooh, fancy.
Let me check something.
I would. Hmm.
All right. Um,
No, I can't think of anything.
no worries, no worries. But yeah, so player characters, or I'm sorry, NPCs, to me, like I said, you're gonna have more detail. You'll have pictures and stuff about major NPCs. Coming into the ones that you're gonna meet randomly in towns and all that stuff. Like I said, I like that generator that I showed you guys, and then I printed out a bunch of them that I'm gonna use and take notes on. Now, now we're gonna move on to one more subject, and that is something I'm gonna go into about the Ovroth. You remember that from last episode?
Are those a bug thing that we have to fight?
That you have to fight, or that you're going to fight?
Going to fight? Have to, same thing.
I mean, okay, so you potentially can get through that entire dungeon. Sorry, not dungeon. Lower
Underground.
level.
Underground maze.
You could potentially get through the entire thing without a fight,
I highly doubt that.
as long as there's no metallic cats.
Metallic cats.
Yeah, you can ask Aaron about that one. Let's see.
Have we gone back to Egyptians where they're scared of cats?
No, his other character in the Destiny campaign had a metallic construct that was a cat, and every time he would try to stealth, he would always roll horribly, and we always blamed the cat.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to the this campaign. Bring up that picture real quick.
Studded leather now. Studded leather cat.
Studded leather cat?
Yeah.
Is that what it
Shouting
said?
the wind. Yeah, the shouting the wind. La, 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 said it's studded leather now. I can't read today,
Can't
but my
read,
reading is off.
can't speak.
Well, my
All right.
English is horrible, and I'm taking a speech class.
I suppose it could be worse. Okay, so our nice little friend, the Ovroth, is on the screen. Um,
Okay.
he's a fun little critter. He likes long walks on the beach. Um, he likes
Right.
hugs. All right. Uh, if you will leave the metal cat construct with a oh, gotcha, short side. It was. That's where it was. Yep, he's right. That's exactly where it is.
Great.
Okay, so
So
these
I'm pretty sure we're gonna find it.
the Ovroth.
No, the cat.
Oh, crooks. Maybe one day. He's like, yeah. Anyway, I just thought of like a whole idea. We'd make a whole adventure about crooks.
But no, have it no.
All right, so I came across some pictures about the aliens, and the what is it? The arachnids from Starship Troopers.
And I actually have seen both movies, so
So you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yes, I do.
Well, I came up with that and I actually posted it in a group on Facebook, just trying to get some ideas for stats and all that stuff.
Okay.
But I stuck with the alien mostly. There's
Oh
some other
yeah.
things. There's some other things I threw in there. Some other surprises that I threw in there. And then I had Jess
We love
actually.
surprises.
And then I showed Jess, and then I was talking to her about the rhinoceros beetle, the horn beetle, which is where its mouth came from. So she drew this up real quick, and we gave birth to the Ovroth. Their home is the penumbra. Now, these particular ones came through a portal and kind of burrowed their way up to where the dwarves were. And then they attacked the dwarves and took over their lower levels and then started doing their thing. Now, here's the thing.
Multiply.
Exactly. Now, I had to think about this for a second because the Ovroth, they can burrow, but I didn't want them to be able to burrow through like stone and all that kind of stuff. So I stuck to like soft earth.
Okay.
So it's basically like they can't burrow through the walls that they're in. They can only go out where they came in and go from there.
Okay. Okay.
So that's kind of why they haven't came up any further.
Okay.
Another thing about the Ovroth, since they are from the penumbra, is that they are sensitive to light. And with that being said,
Think
they it's possible that they've burrowed up, found some caves, but they can't leave the safety of like the caves and go out into direct sunlight because
in like
they're kind of like drow in that sense. And with them and them having six eyes, it's probably a lot more severe to them.
six
So
eyes.
yeah. Oh, you don't have it pulled up.
I do, just
they have
I
like
don't
three
see
eyes.
eyes in this lovely picture here.
Wait. Oh wait, it's not zooming. Oh man. Aha. there are eyes, I promise. Yeah, right
Oh,
there.
oh, how lovely.
So yeah, so they have these six eyes. No, they don't have six noses, Aaron. If that was the case, they would find you. Oh, oops. Oh no.
I'm pretty sure
Close it.
Alistair's going to feel right at home down there.
You think so?
I think so. Because he likes dark and spooky places.
Did you draw the pic or borrow it from the internet? Actually, Jess, she plays Cree on the Destiny campaign.
Destiny.
She actually drew this one using the other pictures that I showed her and the rhinoceros beetle. She kind of come up with this picture. So she drew it. She also drew Michael Versick, Koa, and Nemaruz, which is the Mind Flayer. And then there's going to be more later on down the line. So yeah, so the Ovroth. Basically, my thought process to them was that they are a lot like insects, and they all about eating and reproducing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see you guys go down there and see how this all plays out.
Well, if I remember correctly, I have a spell that makes. I don't know. It either makes light or it makes something unable to be hidden in the dark. Like it's illuminated.
You're talking about, I think it's fairy fire.
Might be. Oh no.
Ken says he doesn't want to go down there.
No one wants to go down there. Like, I definitely don't want to go down there. Let's be real.
Oh man. 10 rounds. We'll go 10. Oh yeah, 10 fights. Yeah. One fight. I think I'll give you guys one fight and you're going to be gassed out.
I think I might die in the first fight.
Well, the beauty of it is like, okay, so the queen is the one with the tail, and she's going to be larger. So the grubs, as I call them, they're the ones that don't have the tails. They're smaller. So I don't want to say they're going to be more manageable. It's just you have to be smart. You know, you can't. You don't want to just run in.
Right, and it's a cantrip called Dancing Light.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
And like I said, all of this information you would have gotten from Alistair, because with him being from the Penumbra, he would have known these creatures. And then he would have probably had firsthand knowledge of these creatures. Don't like the idea of an acid bath. Don't stand under it.
Right. Well, like, that's like the one thing that I've always hated about the aliens is acid blood. It just seems so overpowering that it's like there's no way to not get it on you.
Well, you meant tabs. We're all starting. We're nice.
Standing under acid baths?
That is correct. Ask Belflower about standing under acid baths.
Did he actually take an acid bath?
Pretty much. He thought he was gonna be slick. And in the last episode of the Destiny campaign, they were trying to maneuver, and he thought he was gonna be slick and try and jump past a trap as it got set off. And he basically jumped onto this column and failed his acrobatics check and slid down the column. And when he landed, he set off another trap. And it was quite literally this acid poured out of this column straight on top of him. So
is he dead?
No, he He took a ton of damage from that, and there was a couple of
Yeah.
rounds that he was just laying there screaming.
Well, like usually acid eats through everything, so it's like if it gets poured on your head, your head kind of melts away first.
And you are correct. It just so happened that uh, Rogar, I almost called him Ethrin, Rogar got to him, and the thing about magical healing is it almost works instantly.
Ah,
So it started to like regenerate all of that, and yeah, so he pretty much saved him.
okay, cool, cool.
And then the acid eventually wears off.
Mhm. As
There's
it eats through your soul.
well, and then there's many types of acids, which is why I was talking about with the Ovroth.
Okay.
One of the things that I was talking about how it eats through uh, non magical metals. So that's something to keep in the back of your minds too. Make sense?
Okay. So so that's an easy way to find the eye. We just splash acid over every single treasure down there, and the one piece left is the eye.
I mean, I guess you might want to consult the rest of your party, because it could be there literally could be thousands of coins down there, and you're just gonna melt them all just to find the eye.
Well,
Uh,
that's why we like stuff our pockets first and then do it.
um, so yeah. What else? What other kind of questions you have about the Ovroth? I'm
Okay.
basically I'm kind of going over this because it leaves it open for
Mm-hmm.
later adventures, later campaigns, and or any particular time that they just want to pop up, because they do come from the penumbra, so they have the ability to go through these portals. And if a queen gets in, that could be devastating to an area
Right.
because they the dwarves got lucky and they were able to seal the lower levels, so it kind of cut
Mm-hmm.
them off. But that doesn't mean that over these years that they've been sealed down there, they couldn't have found another way out because eventually they would have needed food sources. So if they,
Yeah, so that's so like what are they eating?
well, so you could get down there and they could have tunneled out. They could have tunneled, elsewhere. They could have, they there's
Um
many possibilities.
so in a sense possibly there's none down there.
I mean, that's possible too.
Okay. Um okay, so you said there were sensitive to fire. I have um
I did. Wait,
you
let me
know what I
think.
mean.
Did I say that?
Shush. Um
Hold on.
so
I need some help. Did I say they were susceptible to fire? Anyone? Anybody watching?
really, really, Patrick, really.
Do they have any weaknesses? Yes. Oh, damn. Really?
Yes, yes, you did. I have at least that good of a memory.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch my own stream now.
Yes, yes, you do.
No, light. Yes, I remember saying light, and I said they were
No,
immune
you
to
said
acid.
fire. You said fire last week.
Okay. So, yep. No, he's right. I do remember that now. Yes, you.
But
Yes.
okay, so I'm kind of thinking, and I'll tell everybody else this later. But I have the cantrip firebolt, and I have the lum, whatever you call it, dancing lights, and that's not fire per se. But with firebolt, I was thinking some way of like holding the fire and like igniting the ends of my arrows and then shooting fire arrows essentially. But I don't know how per se that could work. I was just thinking.
Um, I mean, if you could manage to get that to work, we could work something out on that. It would be you'd have to do it quick.
Right, yeah, because get a torch, yeah. That
I mean,
is another
you
way.
you guys are going through this tomorrow, so you better work on your game plans now.
Well, yeah, because I'm just thinking if we could try to make sure like having long range weapons will definitely aid us more than close range weapons because close range we would would give us more of a chance of getting acid splashed on us, like usually every other scene in an alien movie.
What
Let's
is these
do.
aliens you talk about? Oh man,
Don't play stupid with me.
you can play coy with me. Oh, I also forgot. Okay, so changing subjects real quick. Um,
Okay.
one of the things that I was talking about last week is that I was going to, I guess, showcase a mini that I've worked on. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really create this one. Um,
Okay.
I took the model and added stuff to it and painted it. Um, Small one. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see. No,
No,
not
your
working.
your camera is not focusing.
No, it's not. Oh no, that sucks.
Your
I don't
your
know.
head is too large.
Yes, it is. What if I do it like this? Nope. Nope. Still not working. Still not
Oh,
working. Anyway, it's a wolf. Um, it was actually the druids in the campaign. Um, Basically, she got up to enough, like high enough level,
mm-hmm.
that he started growing vines and stuff out of him. So I bought this moss and put it on him, and then painted him and all that kind of fun stuff. So
Okay.
I don't know, something fun, something different.
Right.
All right. Um, any other questions about the Ovroth before
Uh,
tomorrow's episode?
like okay, how big are the eyes? Like, could you easily hit one with bow and arrow, or no?
So, and that's actually a very good question. Um, Called shots. I will have to double check the ruling on called shots.
Okay. Yeah, because
Um,
I'm just thinking like the eye is usually something very sensitive. So if you can hit an eye, that'll possibly deter it slightly.
I can't remember. I know 3.5 had rules for it, but I'm going to assume here, and like I said, I'll double check. Um,
I do first day.
oh, okay, roleplay. So I'm gonna say that 5e's probably like you probably roll at disadvantage or something like that.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So I'm gonna ignore Aaron's questions. um,
Yeah, that doesn't seem
but
relevant, man.
but actually, Ken has a good one with do when do they sleep? Um, that's a very good question. I don't know. Why don't you go down there and find out? um, Probably. You know what? Let's do this. Let's say they sleep after they have a big meal, like a player character.
Just
Crickets. I get crickets. Just take a couple of dwarves down there. You guys will be fine.
right, like we're going to sacrifice those people. No, thank you.
Let's see. I think you should still shoot, but at disadvantage for increased damage. I wouldn't go increased damage. Disadvantage. Shouting in the Wind says nothing in the player's handbook on called shots may be in the DMG. We played it to take disadvantage, but I think it's a house rule. This actually, I'm good with that. So, called
You just start
shots.
with do they sleep?
Um, do they sleep? so, so yes. Let's say that they sleep. They probably want to like um, kind of like snakes whenever they eat a big meal.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna go with. They're gonna when they eat something. That's probably when they sleep.
Great. That
Um,
makes me feel so confident that one of us is going to die.
so, but that also means that they're hungry whenever you see them and they're awake. Oh man, this is getting worse.
We are gonna die.
So, with that being said, I'm actually gonna jot that down about the disadvantage on called shots.
Okay. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that's okay. Great.
What the heck are you talking about, woman?
I'm quoting a song by Markiplier.
All right.
So,
So, what other questions you have about that?
um,
Because I mean, that was a good one actually. Not that your other questions aren't.
right.
Called shots.
Do they always have their like with their mouth? Is it like a crocodile where it's only like the throat part is only open when the mouth's closed, or is the throat always open even if their mouth is open or not?
You lost me. What do you mean?
Okay, so you know how a crocodile and an alligator, when they open their mouth, there is no throat. It like stops.
Gotcha.
But humans, our throat is always open no matter if our mouth is open or not.
You know, I like that idea about it being sort of like an alligator.
Well, because I was thinking, it's like if they had their mouth open, I could like shoot an arrow like through the throat.
Ah, gotcha. So if
That's
he's like
a
coming at you with his mouth open, gotcha.
like where like a lion is like jumping at you and you shoot like through the mouth and it goes like through the skull. Those,
Yeah, I would say it's more like you were saying. It closes. So when he opens, it closes.
yeah. I was just curious if that's what you were thinking, or did I just plant a horrible idea in your head?
No, no. I mean, and that's actually a very good source of ideas. It's from the players.
Yeah.
Just wanna throw that out there.
Great.
It's usually Aaron's fault. The reason I come up with this stuff. I'm waiting for him to say something.
What?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Actually,
I don't know.
I initially, when I started thinking about these things, before I found the alien the arachnid crossover, I was thinking of like
What is it? Yeah.
the
I was
graboids.
gonna tell him, but it's fine.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Markiplier shouting in the wind describes Markiplier.
I must have missed something somewhere.
I actually don't. I'm not a real big fan of PewDiePie. I prefer Markiplier and like Jacksepticeye more than PewDiePie. That's just my preference.
That's why I don't know who this person is.
Yeah,
I don't really.
I almost watch YouTube religiously.
Except
So
for our channel.
I'm subscribed on YouTube for this channel.
Sure. You just
I
don't watch the
am.
episodes.
You pop up whenever you post them. You pop up on my feed.
You know, I've done nothing but love you, Patrick. I think you meant to say Tilly loved you and Mordecai loves you, but this is too much.
Jack is much better than Mark.
So,
In some ways. I sometimes Jack gets too loud for me, kind of just bouncy, flamboyant. But there are some series of his that I love. Like I watch his Undertale series. I can't think of any others right now, but there are certain aspects of Jack that I like more than Mark. So,
I want to throw this out there real quick since Aaron said it. He said Tilly loved you. What makes you think Tilly doesn't still love me?
Or why Tilly might be dead.
I mean, that's like I said, that's like an idea. You plant that idea in my head, Aaron. All right. So I'm gonna get off this page for a second. I'll come back to this and do the called shots in a minute.
Yeah.
All right.
I sing Markiplier all the time, so that's my biggest thing. It's like I sing a lot of the songs, so yeah, singing always starts it.
I guess I have to like catch up with the times.
Yeah,
All right. So
you might have my sympathy.
oh no, he's talking to Swiss girl at heart.
Yeah,
Um, now, settle
if,
down.
if you say so.
Because she said that I happen
Yeah,
to like Markiplier.
yeah. Like what got me into Markiplier was Five Nights at Freddy's. I love Five Nights at Freddy's.
You know, I could probably ask my son if he knows who these people are, and
Probably,
he would.
probably.
Yeah, I don't have the time to do that with running 2 campaigns. Yeah, I don't have the time to YouTube. Yep.
Oh, which one would I marry? Hmm. Hmm.
No worries. Sorry, I wasn't. I got you. I know. No, he's saying he was saying what he was saying about the. He wasn't responding to that. He was responding to another comment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, Ken knows these people, but I don't. Oh man.
Yeah. Ken prefers Jack over Mark.
That's what he was referring to. Okay.
Yeah, Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, even though Jack's real name is Sean. And he's Irish.
Yeah. I got nothing. I truly have nothing. Oh man. Um
And like the biggest thing to know the difference between Markiplier and Jacksepticeye is Markiplier has a pink mustache and Jacksepticeye has the green eye Sam.
I will take your word for it.
Is that multi cheese, Aaron? Really? Multi cheese.
All right. Okay, so moving back. Try let's get this under wraps here. Um so I don't know. I was gonna wrap it up with that with the Ovroth, but can't talk. It's not after 9 o'clock yet. So tomorrow night, you guys in the antecedents campaign are going to pick up with just before you go into the lower levels. Um, but I'm going to give you an opportunity. Wait, I'm so confused. That's what I get for randomly jumping in. Um, to
Yeah.
answer your question, we were just talking about NPCs and these creatures called the Ovroth, and then we're talking about the other campaigns. And when we got on YouTube, um, personas, I guess you can call them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to pull it back into the campaign. So that's basically what it is. So, with that being said, I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to, uh, I guess, supply up before you go down into the lower levels. So,
Okay.
be thinking about what you want to do,
Okay.
thinking about any of the questions that you want to ask the king before we jump into it. So that way, everybody has an idea of what they want to do. So when we get rolling, we get all that out of the way, and then we jump into it.
Okay.
And then we'll see if these creatures are down there or not. Build up all of this hype, and then you guys go through this entire labyrinth, and there's nothing there.
That'll be so like
Lame.
just disappointing.
I mean, you've made it through three
Granted,
episodes.
I'd rather not meet any of them because I don't want to die and I suck at combat because I'm not used to spellcasters. They're not something that I enjoy. But like with all this hype, it's like not to at least see one is kind of like, eh.
Well, I'm curious to see how this group deals with combat because you guys have not went into combat yet. There's six of you, and I
Mhm.
think between all six of you, first off, you're all arcane casters of some
Yes,
sort, shape, or form.
but some of us don't have
Ace.
attack.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. As I think between six of you, there's probably maybe four offensive spells,
Yeah.
and probably three of the four are on one character.
Hmm.
So I'm interested to see how this is going to play out.
I only have one. No, I have two. Do I have two? I think I have two.
Ken says I have no offensive spells and about 30 hit points. Yeah, actually, I
No,
think
yeah, I have two. I have two spells that deal damage, and then I have one spell that does psychic damage. But I highly doubt these creatures do psychic damage.
um, hmm, I think
That's just me.
let's experiment.
Oh.
Actually, I think it's funny because Ken, it's either Ken or what's her name? Dang it, she's gonna hurt me for this.
Yeah.
What is her
Wait.
name?
What is her name?
Kiki.
Kate.
There we
Oh,
go.
yeah, yeah.
I think her character has more hit points than the fighter.
How many hit points do I have? I have 36. Ooh.
Actually, you know what? Let's pull it up. I'm gonna pull up his character sheet right now and show the world.
Okay.
Mordecai. Character sheet. 37.
37. Okay.
He's got 37 guys. Let's see. Jared. Look, I love how this. Okay, I want to show everybody this real quick. So if you look at the bio and information on Mordecai, it's completely blank. And then you pull up Jared, and it's like literally, it's like 2 pages long. And the thing is he stopped. He stopped at
Just
one point and he was like, "Yeah, I haven't gotten the rest of it written out yet." So there was more. I love that though. I love it. I love yours too, Mordecai. Don't worry.
yeah, I just have a picture.
Um, but yeah, so he's got 40 hit points.
Oh
Heidi.
wow.
Heidi has. Oh, oops. Whoops. That's gonna hurt in the morning.
Yeah.
She got 24.
Ooh.
I don't think that's right. Oh man,
We'll have to go back into the archives.
I have to see what Simeon has. Simeon has 39. Not horrible.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see how you guys fare.
Yes, I'm kind of like on the lower part of the totem pole.
Oh yeah. So also for those that don't know, if I can pull this up, haha. There's somewhat of the labyrinth.
Oh yeah, you did show us a.
Yeah, you just don't see everything else that's in there. This is like the
Right.
plain map.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I gave you guys a small map because of the joys of dynamic lighting. You
Are
run
we doing that again? Oh, I hate that. I hate that. It's not fair.
but it's fun as a DM.
Well, yeah, but not fun for us.
Oh yes, it is. It's all kinds of fun for you guys.
Yeah, like I love not being able to peer over a wall
That's
or
the point.
around a corner.
That's how you stop metagaming right there. I gave you a map though.
Woohoo.
So anyway, so unless you guys don't have any more questions, I don't like this. I don't like my lighting to be dynamic. Stationary, please. We'll see how the tiefling fares tomorrow. He's gonna be the first to go. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Oops. Now I gotta switch it up because people think I have it out for him if he really dies.
I think you already failed that, and you are going to kill him tomorrow.
No, that's not true. That's not true. He could very much make it out alive if he only goes in like a foot and then turns around and comes back out. And I did not have it out for Tilly, mind you. Tilly just kept rolling ones. I have video proof. Go back and watch episodes of Destiny campaign. Any of them. It doesn't matter which one you watch. If it has Tilly in it, he rolls at least 3 ones per game.
Yikes.
Rigged. Oh, man.
Maybe you need to make a new account on Roll20.
No, he changed campaigns. It didn't matter. But anyway, like I said, unless you guys don't have any more questions on the Ovroth NPCs, then I think we're gonna cut this one off, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Antecedents campaign. Sound like a plan?
Yep.
All right. So tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Antecedents campaign. They're going into the lower levels to fight these lovely critters that you see up on the screen called the Ovroth. And until then,
we are gonna die.
at least there's, I guess, happy songs in the air. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Ella, thank you for being on here, and for everybody in the chat and all that kind of fun stuff. And we will see you guys tomorrow night.
Bye-bye.
Later, guys.